WW2.
World War News.
I'm Maria Trisanotti.
And I'm Danny Diaz.
Tonight we're going to be reporting to you guys about the event of Pearl Harbor, the effects of penicillin during the war, and both of the atomic bombs.
And we'll also have an interview with one of the commanders of the Pacific Fleet from Pearl Harbor, history of Major League Baseball, and an editorial with our colleague Rafael Diaz.
Do you ever get tired of seeing your husband, and then right after you say hello to him, you see this mess on the floor right next to him, and then you have to be the one to clean it up piece by piece? Well, worry no more. Now there's a new Keep It Clean vacuum cleaner. It sucks up all of those little fibers that your gentle hands can't grab. Buy one today for the perfect price of $1.
Now on to Maria with more on Pearl Harbor.
Thank you, Danny. On December 7th, Japan viciously attacked us at Pearl Harbor. Japan dreamed of having an empire in Asia, but we were in their way. We had 2 warnings to prevent this from happening. The first one was on October 16th, but the Army disagreed with the Navy. There was a lack of cooperation, and no one in authority thought that we would actually be attacked. The last-minute warning was sent on December 7th, but sadly, General Short didn't receive the message until after the attack. There were 2 waves of the attack. They started at 7:45 in the morning. The first wave had torpedo planes along with bombs that hit the battle row ship. This sunk many ships and killed many people. One of the ships that sunk was the USS Arizona, which received a death blow followed by a large explosion. The second wave consisted of planes that came and attacked some of the ships that were already hit. This caused losses that resulted to be far greater than those of the first wave. Luckily, neither of these 2 waves were able to hit our aircrafts. Fuel storage tanks, maintenance areas, and most destroyers and submarines were not targeted. Sadly, these 2 hours ruined our U.S. Pacific Fleet battleship force. Now back to Danny with information on penicillin during the war.
Thank you, Bea. Penicillin was discovered by Alexander Fleming in 1928. Penicillin helps fight the infections of the wounds of soldiers. In the British Army, it was known for it to take up to 14 hours. This period of time would allow a wound to intensify. With the use of penicillin dressing, the chance of a wound getting infected was vastly reduced and survival chances greatly increased. It contributed to 95% recovery rate for wounded Allied soldiers. It was also used in World War II to keep infections from spreading. By attacking open wounds with penicillin, Army doctors were able to revitalize troops more quickly. Since many soldiers were getting severely wounded, a faster way to produce penicillin was needed. The place chosen to produce more naturally fermented penicillin was the Northern Regional Research Laboratory at Peoria, Illinois. Because of this wonder drug, many of our soldiers were able to live and continue to fight for their country. Now on to Rafael with information on the atomic bombs.
Hi, this is Rafa Diaz reporting to you live from World War News headquarters in Chicago. The United States dropped the first atomic bomb in the history of the world a few weeks ago on August 6th in Hiroshima, Japan, and dropped the second one only 3 days later on August 9th in Nagasaki, Japan. The second bomb was meant for Kokura, but due to its dark cloudy skies in Kokura, for visual targeting, the bomb was dropped in Nagasaki. The bomb in Hiroshima killed around 90 to 160,000 people. The bomb in Nagasaki killed around 60 to 80,000 people. Roughly half of the people who died from both of the bombs was in the first day of each of the bombs. And on August 15th, just a few days after the bomb in Nagasaki, Japan announced its surrender to the Allied forces.
Tonight we have Commander Kimmel guest starring on the show with us. Welcome to the show, Commander.
Thank you.
So I would like to ask you a few questions. Is that okay?
Yes, of course, that's fine.
Okay. First one. What are your thoughts on the attack at Pearl Harbor?
Well, actually, I wasn't expecting it. I feel that the surprise attack on Pearl Harbor was a possibility, and we should have taken immediate practical steps to minimize the damage that was inflicted on us.
That's very interesting. Thank you. Were you shot at any time during this attack?
Well, I kind of was. Not too badly. As I was watching the attack from my window in the submarine base, a bullet came through the window and caught my white jacket and raised a welt on my chest. I said to my communications officer, it would have been merciful had it killed me.
Oh gosh, that's a terrible experience. Last question. What do you plan to do now?
Well, after this terrible and depressing experience, I'm going to retire in about a year. I think it's time I leave the workforce.
Well, I hope everything goes good for you, and I wish you the best of luck. I'll
Thank
keep
you.
you in my prayers.
Thank you very
Thank you for
much.
coming to the show.
By the beginning of this 1945 baseball season, Ted Williams was serving as a Navy flight instructor, Joe DiMaggio was stationed in Hawaii, and Stan Musial had reported to Maryland. With many of the game's big-name bats claimed by the war effort, some teams had to turn to fresh faces to fill their rosters. One of these men was an outfielder from Pennsylvania named Pete Gray. 30-year-old, one-armed Pete Gray had signed with St. Louis Browns for $20,000. At the age of 6, Pete fell off a farmer's wagon and his right arm was caught in the spokes. The arm had to be amputated above the elbow. A natural right-hander, Gray was determined to be a professional baseball player. He had to learn to both bat and throw left-handed. He was 23 years old when he made his professional baseball debut with Three Rivers in the Quebec Provincial League in 1938. He spent 7 seasons in the minor leagues, and in 1944, he was named the most valuable player in the Southern Association as he batted .333 for the Memphis Chicks. He stole 68 bases that year and led the league's outfielders in fielding percentage. Gray's big year with Memphis, combined with the fact that major league rosters were depleted because of World War II, earned the one-armed outfielder a chance to play for the St. Louis Browns. He dreamed of one day playing in Yankee Stadium, so he taught himself to play baseball one-armed. When fielding, Gray catches the ball with his gloved hand, pop it into the air, tuck the glove into his right armpit, and then catch the ball again, barehanded before firing off the throw.
Today I'm here to do an editorial on Robert Lee Frost, born in San Francisco, California on March 26, 1874. Frost is one of America's leading poets and a 4-time winner of the Pulitzer Prize. An essentially pastoral poet, often associated with rural New England, Frost writes poems whose philosophical dimensions transcend any region. His verse forms are traditional. He is a pioneer in the interplay of rhythm and meter, and in the poetic use of his vocabulary and inflections on everyday speech. His poetry is both traditional and experimental, regional and universal, and I like his poems a lot. They are strong and send good messages to the readers, and best of luck to Frost in the future.